Thanks, Jackie. We hear a great deal in these debates about the press, about how valiantly our newspapers stand up for our interests and how vital their freedoms are for defending the public against the powers of the state. And yet you come across pictures like that of a total press failure, and it does make you think, what do they think is the function of the press in terms of holding the power to account? They so often fail. Our next speaker comes to us, Rich Peppiatt, comes to us, as it were, from inside the tabloid press, where he ejected himself quite famously a couple of years ago, writing a public letter of resignation to Richard Desmond, the proprietor of the Express, which he managed to get published in The Guardian, which, as you may imagine, didn't go down very well. I'll pass you over to Richard now with his own take on it.
How to follow such sort of moving and powerful evidence, I suppose. Well, I'm going to start with an odd place with a few words of praise for Paul McMullen. Really. Because I have a begrudging respect for Paul and his crumpled beige suit. As much as I find his views on journalism, on privacy, on public interest abhorrent, I do respect that his right to hold those views and the fact that he's honest enough to air them publicly. Lots and lots and lots and lots. He may be, as I think Steve Ewan said, a walking PR disaster for the tabloid industry, but I think some of the arguments that he does put forth are genuinely held by some in the industry. It's been quite amazing with the Leveson inquiry to see some of the newspaper editors and executives who are best known for sort of prowling around their newsrooms, dropping Jeremy Hunts at anyone who happens to err from the party line, sitting there and making out as if their career choice was between journalism and the priesthood. At moments, though, the mask has slipped. Just as Paul McMullen speaks of the pound on the counter being the only moral arbiter that the press needs, you hear the likes of Murdoch and Dacre and Desmond, in their own way, also propagate this particular theory to excuse some of the erroneous, illegal, and just downright unethical behaviour of their publications. It is very much like defending public hangings on the basis that they draw a good crowd. The relentless pursuit of sales or page clicks within journalism has led us to a point where great swathes of the content that we see is not actually journalistic at all. Pictures, posed or otherwise, of celebrities in bikinis or stumbling out of nightclubs with a few pithy onlooker quotes thrown in, contain nothing that is identifiably journalistic. They are solely entertainment constructs, and attempts to define them as journalism devalues the very notion of journalism and all the good that it can do within society. If we accept the argument that the rubbernecking and prurient aspects of tabloid journalism especially, with all the damage that they can cause along the way, as we've heard some of tonight already, if we accept that as an economic necessity to pay for proper journalism, we may as well all go home now. It's okay for tabloid editors to claim that they hold the powerful to account, but when they deploy such vast percentage of their resources to finding out which soap actress's knickers are lying on which footballer's bedroom floor, you must ask whether they're challenging real power at all. Quite the opposite, I would say. In fact, they are actively and cynically attempting to maintain the status quo. Tabloids would like us to believe that they are boisterous outsiders and are now being targeted for criticism because they are those outsiders. But Leveson has exposed, like never before, the fact that they are very much part of the ruling elite. Penning a speech, Paul Dacre, from the comforts of his sprawling Kent mansion, he might like to talk about the plight of call centre workers in Sunderland and how they want to read about their footballing heroes and who they are sleeping with. But his lack of interest over the years on which media moguls are having Christmas lunch with which prime ministers shows where his true priorities lie. I think this has all been aided greatly by the Press Complaints Commission, which, while calling themselves a regulator, are little more than an industry pressure group offering the mirage of accountability. It is now for the rank and file journalists and the public to make their voices heard in recalibrating our press system. With Lord Justice Leveson's recommendations not coming until the autumn, it is vital that we keep this on the news agenda by blogging, by tweeting, by speaking to people in the pub who maybe that aren't very interested in what's been going on so far, explaining to them that a healthy press is vital to a healthy society. It is meetings like this, and I hope there'll be many more, are exactly what we need. Thank you.